I'm excited. It's an incredible day. Listen, guys, before we start, okay, I just want you to know I didn't spit on myself. I didn't spill no water on myself. It is hot, and unfortunately, this type of t-shirt shows my sweat. So I want to keep it original, authentic, and real. So, welcome to the Martial Arts of Sales. This is part 2 of a 3-part series on how to deal with objections in the storytelling part, what I call the body of the sales presentation. It's a very exciting, and it's really a very important one, because this is where you're going to be increasing your value, and this is where you start to transition to asking for the order. And there's about 5 or 6 objections that could come up in this part of the sale process, and you have to really know how to handle it so that you can diffuse it, so that you can earn the business for the customer. So this is the opening monologue, and what we're going to talk about is the rebuttal or the objection on, I got to speak to my business partner, I got to speak with my CPA or my attorney, I have a marketing team, I have social media, I have a website, I'm not liquid right now, and I'm not ready to do this. Those are typically the objections that come out in what I call the body of the sales presentation, or the art of storytelling. I'm going to show you and share with you rebuttals that will absolutely diffuse that. And matter of fact, if you deal with it the correct way, most of these objections will not come up in the body. But when they do, you have to be armed with the right rebuttals so that you can earn the right to ask for the business. Does that make sense, everybody? Before we dig into the topic, let's go to the introduction. Hello, everybody. Hope everyone's having a great day. Welcome to the Martial Arts of Sales. My name is Paul Cruz. This is part 2 of a 3-part series on how to deal with objections in the second part of the sales presentation, which I call the body, which is the art of storytelling. There's typically about 5 to 6 objections that could come out within that part of the sales process. But if you do it right, you're going to be able to overcome those objections by having the right powerful rebuttals by diffusing that. Before we dig into the topic, if you're watching this on YouTube for the first time, you know what to do. Hit the subscription button below. If you like the video, give me thumbs up, and also share the video with others. Now, part 2 is how to handle objections in what I call the body of the sales presentation, or the art of storytelling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you my experiences in the products and services that I offer, and the type of objections that can come up within the part 2 of the sales presentation. Okay, the first one is business partner. I have to speak to my business partner. How do you deal with that? Mr. Client, I understand that you have business partners, but I'm assuming that you're the decision maker, right? So if you didn't have a business partner and you like this idea and it makes sense, and you see that it can help your business, chances are you will make a decision on that right now, right? Yes. Once they say yes, you basically diffuse that they need to talk to their business partners. You have to be able to deal with that strategically. The second thing you can do as a rebuttal is say, listen, I'll tell you what, why don't we get your business partner on the phone, let's have a 3-way call, and then that way I can address his concerns or her concern so that we can work as a team. Now what you did there is you basically called them out respectfully, and if they respond by not wanting to get their partners on, then you know that the partner is not a real situation. Does that make sense? Now, the other thing I want to talk about is, if you guys are watching me and you see my t-shirt is wet, I didn't spit on myself, I didn't spill no water on myself, it is just hot and it's sweaty and it's showing. Okay, so that's business partner. The second one you may run into is, I need to speak with my CPA or my attorney. I'm here to tell you that that is absolutely a non-issue. Because unless you're buying a real estate deal and you're doing a $20 million contract or $20 million deal that there's a lot of elements involved, there's no reason that a customer needs to talk to CPA or an attorney, especially with my services that I offer. So at the end of the day is, the way you handle a CPA or an attorney, Mr. Klein, let me ask you this question. Do you go to your attorney every single time to make $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 decision on your daily act for your business? Of course you don't. I don't either. The only time you need an attorney, or I use an attorney, is when I'm dealing with multi-million dollars and I'm in an industry that's involved a lot of variables, a lot of other people. Then I get my attorneys involved. Does that make sense? Now, when you handle it that way, here's what happens. You're letting them know that you're at their level. Because in the beginning, they're always going to see you at a lower level because you're trying to sell them something. You're trying to offer them something. That's why the body is very important in how you do it, because you have to increase your value. You got to get yourself to their level. Does that make sense? Number 3, I have a marketing team. Mr. Klein, I understand and I respect that. But at the end of the day, if you're paying your marketing team, let's say $100,000, $200,000 as a team annually, and if I could put you in a position where it'll cost you X amount of dollars, let's say $20,000, and you get the same amount of results or even better, I just made you more profits, right? The decision you're going to have to make is, do you keep your in-house marketing team, or do you hire my company to help you generate more sales with a lot less cost and a lot less overhead? That is your decision. What did you do there? You got them thinking about a return on their investment. Does that make sense? Also, before we get into the other objection, always keep this in mind. No matter what a customer tells you, they got social media, they got a website, they have anything, you always compliment them. Listen, that's great. I'm glad you have that. That means you're going to see the value that I'm offering you different than what you're doing right now. So never knock them, always compliment them so that you can address your concerns on why they need to do you and hire you versus what they have right now. Okay? Number 4, I have social media. Great, I know you have social media. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Klein. Are you happy with your social media? Is it generating you more traffic? Are you converting more leads into sales? If you're not, why not? Mr. Klein, if I could show you a way to fine-tune your social media and help you generate more traffic and increase your brand presence and increase the value of your business and help you get a higher ranking, would that be advantageous to you? See what I just did? I complimented them and I showed them, and by asking them questions, they may have holes in their social media that they're not aware about. They won't ask themselves those tough questions. Number 5, I have a website. I know you have a website, Mr. Klein. I've been watching your website. Are you happy with your website? Is it ranking high? Is it generating you the leads that you want? Is it generating you the traffic that you need? Is it valuable to you? Or do you just have a website with no presence? I could tell you right now, Mr. Klein, looking at your website is broken and needs some work. Now when I said that, guys, I'm basically letting him know that his website needs help. Does that make sense? Number 6, I'm not liquid right now. Here's where sales comes in. First of all, as a salesperson, you better qualify your customers up front. You have to qualify them in the opening of the call, because you don't want to go into the presentation where you're putting everything on the line, everything on the table. You're throwing the kitchen sink, and you find out later that the guy doesn't have any money or can't afford your pricing. That is your job to do before you get into the body. But let's say they bring it up in the body. Well, Mr. Klein, let me ask you this question. If you knew that tomorrow you can generate an extra $30,000 for your business, and all it would take you is to invest $5,000 for you to get $30,000, I'm assuming you will find a way to get liquid for $5,000. Am I right? Yes. And you probably have that in one of your credit cards, right? Yes. You see what I did? I got them to look at the greed look at the value, see what they can do, and challenge themselves on why they need to do this and why they need to own it. So not being liquid is something you should never allow to happen, because you should do that in the opening of it. And then the last one is, I'm not ready to do this. Mr. Client, you told me you like the idea, you told me it makes sense, you told me you see the value. What is it about it that you're not ready to own the services that can help your business? At that point, you stay quiet. You let them address what their real concerns are. And when they tell you what their real concerns are, then it's up to you to soften the blow. Meaning, it really comes down to you and the customer. They didn't buy into you 100% yet. Because at the end of the day, the customers or the prospects have to buy into you, the salesperson, before they take ownership of the product and services you're going to offer them. Does that make sense? So, I hope this has been helpful. I want to thank everyone who's been following me on my YouTube channel, subscribing to my YouTube channel, commenting and sharing the video with everyone. I do appreciate that. Till we speak again, I say goodbye for now. This is Paul Cruz with the Martial Arts of Sales. Talk to you later.